What up YouTube? We back with another YouTube reaction video. And this video is gonna be be talking about the Neuralink that was recently, well not recently, but it's a company that was founded by Elon Musk. You know, this whole AI thing going on. So pretty much a Neuralink is pretty much a type of chip that interfaces with the brain. You put it in your brain and it's pretty much like a, hold on chat. It's pretty much like a neurotechnology company, brain computer interface. So pretty much you put this chip in your brain, and pretty much just like a half computer, and I guess you just communicate with computers through the brain. So you look at a computer, and then from your thoughts and what you see with your eyes, so you can control the computer. If you ask me, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy right there. But you better check the video out and you want to see what's up. Don't forget to like, comment down below what the videos you want to react to. Subscribe if you haven't already. And you better check the video out because I feel a lot of people's not aware about this. And this is already here. This is already here, chat. And yeah, I want to shed some light on it and put my perspective on it. And know that this is one of the ways they're going to try to get people to put a chip in their brain. They'll make it seem convenient for you. They'll make it seem like it's safe for you. And they want you to always depend on the electronics, AI, you know, to even control your brain for you not to think for yourself. It gets deeper, man. I'm telling you, it gets deep. But we'll get right here. Don't forget to like. I already said that. And yeah, guys, let's get right into it. See what's up. For those of you not aware about the Neuralink, it's a brain-computer interface. Neuralink is a neurotechnology company founded by Elon Musk in 2016, focused on developing a brain-computer interface. Its primary device, known as the N1 implant, or the Link, is a surgically implanted neural chip designed to decode and stimulate brain activity, enabling communication between the human brain and computers. The technology aims to assist individuals and neurological conditions by directly interfacing with the brain. In other words, you don't think for yourself. We think for you. Get it. You don't think about nothing, bro. Just put the chip in your brain, you're good. You're good to go. That's crazy, bro. Why not like look for other ways to do it? Why we gotta put something in our brain that's pretty much like a brain computer? They trying so hard for us to depend on the computers, depend on the AI. Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, you about to check out this video of Mr. Beast promoting this, and I already know from the jump that I was still gonna use Mr. Beast for his platform, things like that, because he got a huge following. He get a huge amount of numbers, so I already know they was gonna have him like, yo, share this, bro, or we're gonna shut you down. What they trying to do. So go check the video out. This came across my Twitter feed, and I just wanted to share with y'all for y'all to be aware as well. Those that's watching, that this is coming. This is coming. This is one of the things that are gonna make it seem convenient for you. In all actuality, they just want to take full control. But yeah, let's see.
Guys, the most
I'm guessing this is one of his I guess videos, commercials he did.
futuristic technology on the planet. But next, we're going with the $10,000 technology, Neuralink, which is a computer chip surgically implanted into the brain, enabling people like Nolan here to reconnect to the world. So you were paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, and for about 8 years, I was trying to find some purpose in my life.
And then you got Neuralink, and what has that changed?
Anything anyone can do on a computer, I can do.
And he literally does it by using only his brain. You are currently moving that with your thoughts.
Yeah, man.
I want to see you send a text with your brain.
Okay.
His hands are paralyzed, but we're going to film them so you can see they're not moving. And using the neurons firing in Nolan's brain, Neuralink can translate those signals into movements. He just typed hi with his mind. Is this not crazy to anyone else? But that's not all he can do. So you just think left, and you're about to turn left.
Left, right, don't die.
No!
There we go.
He absolutely crushed us playing with only his mind.
I never thought would allow me to do anything like this.
And future technology can not only help the mind, but also the body.
Crazy, chat. What y'all thought about that? Would you let your kids have a Neuralink in your brain? What would you do, right? If you're just chilling in the kitchen, whatever, doing your thing, you know, flipping some pancakes, and then your daughter or your son comes to you, so I'm like, oh, dad, like the school said I could have a chip in my brain, a Neuralink. You heard about it? I put it in my brain and it makes me, use the computer without even touching it. Isn't that cool? Like, what, bro? Like, bro, if my kid come up to me saying that, bro, I'm like, bro, nah, bro. All we need is the Lord. All we need is Jesus. Jesus is a healer. He's a redeemer. He heals the sick. And all Satan wants to does is steal, kill, and destroy. That's the only objective. And for him doing this is pushes away from the Lord. That's what he's trying to do. They're trying to be like gods. They're trying to be like God, which they can never be. Lucifer lost. He lost. Jesus claimed the victory. But what Satan's trying to do is trying to make it seem convenient for you. He's trying to make it seem like it's safe for you to take this, safe for you to depend on it. But they're literally creating stuff that's literally going to replace us. Literally going to replace us the way we think, things like that. And it's like, we got to start seeking the Lord. This is like serious stuff. And like, a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people don't think it's going to be at your doorstep. Or it's going to be, soon you come out the door, it's going to be somebody already using it. And that's exactly how they push it on you. They want to slowly convince you, slowly seem like it's, for you. And that's how they start tricking you. That's when deception comes in. A lot of people are going to try to depend on it. A lot of people are going to depend on it. And that's just not the way. It's not the way. Jesus is a true healer. Jesus can heal the sick, raise people from the dead. He's literally like the word is alive. The word of God is alive. Jesus is alive and he's here. He's here for you. He's here for me. He's here to say there's another way. And he's calling you to that. There's another way. And yeah, about check another video out about Elon Musk. It's like an introduction to it. So I'll check that video out.
Elon Musk's brain chip company recently pushed back on claims that it violated animal welfare laws a few years ago while testing on monkeys. This year, the company plans to test on human subjects. But when it does, what would this major step mean for brain implant science?
Academics like me have conducted clinical trials in people with brain implants.
Dr. Paul Niajukian is a professor of bioengineering and neurosurgery. He directs the brain interfacing laboratory at Stanford.
For about 20 years now. Academic research brain implants, up until this point, more or less, have almost exclusively been with wires. The difference that the N1 has, that the Neuralink, it's fully implantable, it is battery powered, it is wireless. All of this is being done over Bluetooth protocol.
Let's dive into the science behind Neuralink to understand how exactly human brain chips work.
The science behind how these implants work is not that different from how you would go about trying to measure the energy from a AA battery. It's the same principle that we're doing with these brain implants. This is called neuroelectrophysiological recording. When you move your arm to the right, certain sets of neurons are activated in a certain pattern. Listening in to that activity and that pattern, you can predict very quickly which direction the arm is going to move. These are the neurons that are directly wired to your muscle.
Unless that pathway from the brain to the spinal cord to the muscle is damaged, the way it is in patients with paralysis.
That pathway is damaged, then the neural signals, the signals from the brain, aren't going to get down to move the muscles. But in many cases, the signals are still present in the brain. They're just not getting out. So if you reach in and put something that listens in to those neurons, then you know what's happening to the muscle.
And that's the goal of a brain implant. Now let's look at a timeline of brain interface breakthroughs over the years. Scholars have long been interested in how the brain works, so it's important to view these new developments at Neuralink as a culmination of breakthroughs by brain-machine interface researchers, especially in the last few decades. For example, in 2002, the first demonstration of real-time cursor control in monkeys took place. 2008, a monkey controlling a robotic arm in 3 dimensions fed itself. 2012, the first brain-controlled robotic arm by a human. 2017, a human controlled a cursor mentally to type out words and sentences. Dr. Nyojukian was part of this study, as well as the one in 2018, where a human subject mentally controlled a tablet to do things like browse the web, send emails, and play games or music.
All that's been done with a couple hundred electrodes.
But in 2019, Neuralink, a private company, changed the game when it unveiled a pig named Gertrude with a wireless implant that monitored about 1,000 neurons.
The neurons are like wiring, and you kind of need an electronic thing to solve an electronic problem.
That was a very interesting moment because it signaled to the community that they're serious, they're investing, they're building hardware from scratch, and they're putting it in large animals. For the pig, the electrodes were implanted in somatosensory cortex, allowing them to measure sensory activity, like that of taking a step. Every time that particular neuron they were listening to fired, you would hear this little pop or click from the audio channel. And so the moment I heard it, right, it's like, oh yeah, they got neurons. You just recognize it instantly. You know what neurons sound like if you've been listening to them for decades. And that's what they were communicating, right? They were...
That's one thing I noticed too. That's how they get started with this. As first to do experiments. They use people and animals like subjects, experimental. And then later on they start pushing it to the masses slowly. But first they want to do the little experiments first. That's always how it is, you know. And I don't know, it's pretty wild to me. Like I know that Ben came out with this stuff, but there's some shit on my channel. Because this is stuff we gotta shed light on, and know there's a deeper meaning to it, especially when they make it seem like it's convenient for you, safe for you. At the end of the day, they want to make you more dependent on it. Make you more dependent on it, and they want you to depend more on them. We already know all of them is a lie. We only give us half the truth, not all the truth. And we don't wrestle with the flesh, we wrestle with the dark entities and principalities from the heavenly places. That's who we wrestle with. And it's like, that's the type of perspective I look at this on. Because like, why we need all this stuff for our brain? Why we need a Neuralink to put on our brain? It's like slowly they want to start pushing little things to depend on it more. And it's AI stuff. That's the way I look at it.
They were telling the field, we've got neurons. Pay attention.
And overnight, it seemed the industry took notice. Then, in April of 2021, Neuralink released the so-called Mind Pong video.
Pager was the name. It's a rhesus macaque, which is, the type of monkey that is very commonly used in this field. Implanted with 2 of the N1 devices, the Neuralink devices, performing brain control of a cursor on a screen. That's extremely significant because here, Neuralink is showing their new hardware, their new device in their hands, works in a monkey. That's the level that's necessary to convince the scientific community, to convince the FDA that you're ready to go into human clinical trials. That's the evidence the FDA is looking for.
The recording power of the N1 device in Pager was eye-opening because of the sheer number of individual electrodes that had been implanted.
There was definitely a lot of clever engineering that went into that to build a device that can transmit 2048 electrodes worth of spiking information, right, of digital ones and zeros of spikes over a radio wirelessly. And when you have that many channels, the performance that you should be able to get should eclipse what we've been able to do in the academic field. The maximum number of electrodes I've ever recorded from is 200 to 300.
So with all those electrodes, how does a device like the N1 get implanted in a subject's brain?
Make no mistake, this is neurosurgery. It is not a joke. This requires cutting the skin, getting down to skull, drilling a hole in the skull, exposing what's called the dura, which is this protective layer of tissue that surrounds the brain, cutting the dura, folding it back to expose the brain, and then you get to the surface of the brain where you can implant the electrodes. The biggest risks with these types of techniques are infection, bleeding, and tissue damage.
So what would it take for the FDA to approve clinical trials in humans?
The Neuralink device are called Class 3 medical devices. They are implantable and they're going into very sensitive body cavities. That is the highest level of scrutiny that the FDA assigns to medical devices. They don't have a predecessor. There's no previous example that's approved. And so, very appropriately, they got a high bar they have to cross in order to get it approved. So what Neuralink has to do next is prepare a very long and technical document with all the evidence from animal studies that their device is safe and effective. This document is submitted to the FDA, who has 90 days to review and give them an answer. If the FDA says yes, then their clinical trial is approved and Neuralink can enroll and recruit human participants. We're on the cusp of a complete paradigm shift. This type of technology has the potential to transform our treatments, not just for stroke and paralysis and degenerative disease, motor degenerative diseases, but also for pretty much every other type of brain disease, from Parkinson's to epilepsy to dementias, Alzheimer's, and even psychiatric disease. Seeing Neuralink and the other companies in this space start an industry around neuroengineering, brain-machine interfaces, neuroprosthetics, has been a tremendous amount of validation for neuroscientists and engineers who have been working in this space for decades. How much happier could the scientific community be than to give birth to an industry?
So will this industry someday lead to the creation of cyborg humans with superhuman intelligence?
There's all sorts of wild speculation in our field.
Nuts.
I think science fiction is wonderful at telling very creative and captivating stories about all sorts of things, including brain-machine interfaces. The reality is we are in such early stages of this space, right, where we are just barely able to record from neurons that control muscles and try to interpret something, glean meaningful information out of that. We're going to be in that space for decades. That's where I will focus much of my career, is understanding what's going on with these neurons and the circuits that they are working on. That's where the last 15 years of my work has been, and the coming several decades of my work will focus in on this space, because that's going to be the forefront of neuroscience. The rest, I think, is fun to think about, but
man, I have my skepticism about it. It's like, at the end of the day with this AI stuff, man, it's pretty much like a whole beast system it was trying to create. And with this beast system, they want to make you depend on it more and more. And that's pretty much what they're doing. And pretty much their main objective is to have one person control everything. Control what you do, control what you think about, control your money, how much income you can, how much you get out. Have dependent robots in your household. You can sit down on the couch all day and be a slob eating potatoes, potato chips. They want to make you lazier. They don't want to have you think for yourself anymore. Like a whole bunch of stuff, that's truly detrimental to our physical body, our mental, and it's definitely spiritual. And that's the way I look at it. A lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people see it as, yeah, awesome. We got robots gonna be in the crib. We depend on them more. Like, that's exactly what they want. That's what they want. But we cannot forget our Lord and Savior, what Jesus did for us. Jesus died on the cross for you and me, for we could be saved. We have everlasting life with him. He died on the cross, took our transgressions, took what we deserved, put on himself, got beaten, and died and resurrected on the third day. So he defeated the darkness of this world. That's what's so great about it. So it's like all this AI, scientific things like that, that's all a cover up. It's all a cover to make it seem like we don't need the true Lord. And that's the way I look at it now. And I'm so grateful and thankful that the Lord was able to move in my life and really take me out of the true deception that's going on, and just be aware, spiritually, and just be aware of the evil works that they're doing. At the end of the day, we are just normal to them. They don't see us as a human life. They see us as our rats in a cage. See us like experiments. And that's the way we gotta look at these type of new things they're coming out with. Look at it as an experiment trying to do on us. Look at it from a different perspective, that they're not for us, they're against us. You know, like, yeah, even though like with Donald Trump, we did a couple of good things, then stand a third from helping us not be completely destroyed and conquered. But at the end of the day, they all have their evil agendas. And that's the way we gotta look at it, and that's the way we gotta interpret these things and be aware of these things. Because they're not gonna just come out and say, oh yeah, we're trying to destroy your life. You know, make sure you become very lazy and have to do nothing for yourself. They're not gonna come out and say that. You know, and yeah, that's the way I look at it. And you know, I encourage y'all to get close to the Lord, because these times we're living in is truly dark, and it's truly wicked and evil. And yeah, I just encourage you to start seeking the Lord and read the word for yourselves. And yeah, guys, appreciate you tuning into this video. I just want to share this with y'all. That was on my mind, and I want to share it to those that wasn't aware of what's to come, not aware of what they're building now. And I'm telling you, it's coming like a moving train to humanity. It's just gonna take a couple more years, or even months, who knows how fast AI is growing. And I think it's gonna come upon a time that's gonna be out of humanity's hands. And you know, because they're building it so fast without thinking about the repercussions of it. What happens if it goes wrong, you know? And that's why they don't care, because it's a lot of greed. A lot of greedy people on top. They care all about their money, not about the human life. And they all care about power, greed and power. That's literally it. Like, you know, and people just gotta wake up to that, you know, because especially what they have been revealing lately is like, come on, man. And you really think they care, bro? Just saying. I appreciate you tuning into this video. If you like, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. See you on the next video. Peace.